I feel a great disturbance in the force. Before we get to this video, make sure you hit like, share my videos, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, make sure that your notifications are on and they're set to all. Now, let's get into this. But first, quick commercial break. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold is the best investment class for 2022. According to longtermtrends.net, gold has actually outperformed the S&P 500, Dow, and Bitcoin for 2022. So, what are you waiting for? Open a gold IRA or a silver IRA with Noble Gold Investments this month and receive a free 1/4 ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualified IRA of $50,000. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold and their thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com or you can simply call them at 877-646-5347. I feel a disturbance in the force. I'm noticing something, y'all, that the Democrats are getting very concerned that the Republicans taking over the House and forced Kevin McCarthy to allow them to take a serious approach towards investigating a couple of these things that's been going on around our country these last couple of years. Yeah. Now, why are they getting all concerned? I mean, these are the most, investigative, happy people ever. You would think that the Democrats, who's always talking about transparency and, nobody's above the law, including the president, you would think they would encourage oversight in all of these investigations. But for some reason, now that they know that we got potentially some serious Republicans that are going to be looking into some of these shenanigans, all of a sudden they're launching a preemptive strike to stop this, to downplay it, to undermine it. And I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute. Why are y'all doing this already? I mean, did you think that, if they won the House, they were going to have a sham investigation like you guys did, and therefore y'all really wouldn't be under any threat or danger of exposure or corruption or any of that stuff? You probably thought that, but this group of holdouts from the Republican Party forced Kevin McCarthy to kind of take them off the leash. Now you got a lot of people like Rodney the Dangerfield. Oh, yeah, it's a tough crowd. So it sounds like they're launching a preemptive strike to undermine these investigations. It's about to be coming down the pipeline. But it's not just them. It's also the fake news. Now, if you ever want to know which networks are fake, all you got to do is ask yourself, which networks and which anchor people have, one, been saying every single thing that the Democrat Party wants them to say, agrees with everything that the Democrat Party does, all their investigations, all their narratives. They don't even question anytime the Democrat Party throws out a narrative or the intel community throws out a narrative, they take it and run with it. They don't do no fact checking. They don't wait until a confirmation comes. They just runs it as if it is 100% accurate and true.
The seriousness of the potential threat to national security information, I just don't know what to say.
If he was in possession of classified documents, those are by definition potentially harmful to our national security.
We have a president of the United States who has played fast and loose with the national security.
We have a situation where what he was doing was dangerous to our national security.
These are really classified and a really threat to national security.
That really jumps out to me as a national security threat.
This is a national security crisis.
The extreme risk that Trump was willing to take with our national security.
All right. And number two, any network that supports the intel community or politicians over the people is not a real network.
And the news organizations that remain are so thoroughly controlled by government agencies that even the suggestion of more public transparency drives them to hysteria. Watch CNN and MSNBC, for example, react to the news that Republicans in Congress might tell us some of what the thoroughly corrupt intel community has been doing in our name.
A House committee where Republicans can shred at the integrity of the federal government and tell America that your government is spying on you and coming after you, that is at the heart of this tear down, break down the government. We can't trust the government. We're going to topple it. He just gave them a committee platform to have those hearings. And you better believe that is going to be heroin in the veins of Fox News viewers over the next 2 years.
Basically, they're establishing a subcommittee or a committee on witch hunts and deep state conspiracy theories.
This is so extraordinarily dangerous. As you said, they're going to these people want to target America's intel community.
This is a body of the Congress that we are trying to maintain credibility with, and we are not going to do that by opening up all kinds of suspicions about the institutions in our society.
It's outrageous to tell people the government is spying on them, especially since the government is spying on them. That's confirmed, by the way. That's a fact. They spied on us.
I thought that the news was supposed to be holding the powerful accountable and being, accountable to the people. I thought they were supposed to be our liaison. I thought they were supposed to be, covering us and making sure that they keep the powerful accountable. But it seems to me that they're siding with the powerful, especially when the powerful have tons and tons of evidence that would suggest that they were abusing their power and manipulating the people. And somehow these networks are coming out trying to cover for them. Now, why would they do that? You would think they would want to get to the bottom of this. So let's check out a couple clips that might reveal that there's a little concern on their part. And see, the media is concerned because they supported all the narrative. See, you can't just expose the Democrats and the intel community without exposing the fake news, because the fake news is the ones that are the catalysts for all the dis and misinformation. Every single thing that this next bum you're about to see, the man with the pencil neck himself, the man with the bug eyes, the man with that watermelon shaped shift is back on the news talking about an unfair investigation on C-SPAN. He's getting ready, y'all, because we know that man has been a perpetrator of nothing but mis and disinformation, and he probably is going to be one of the people under investigation. So let's see the shift show and see what he got to say now. I wonder if he's going to talk about that evidence in plain sight.
Last time Republicans were in charge of the House, Kevin McCarthy pushed to form another bogus select committee, that one on Benghazi. He did so as he admitted to tear down Hillary Clinton's numbers, a patently political exercise.
What?
Now McCarthy is at it again, pushed into forming this bogus subcommittee by the QAnon members of his own conference. Now, he sacrificed a lot in his bid for Speaker. That was his choice. But now the American people are going to pay the price in the form of a body blow to our national security.
Oh, y'all hear that? First of all, Pencil Neck, he's no longer on the intel community. They're getting rid of him, see, which he should have been gone. This is the same guy who was sneaking out of closed meetings and giving information to CNN. This is the same guy who been using all of those intel meetings to push a fake and false narrative about Donald Trump being a Russian agent. This is the same guy who would get on networks and say that, evidence is coming down the pipeline. It's right there in plain sight. You can't see it, but with my big eyes, I can see it. See, with my lion eyes. See, lion eyes, they can see all of that stuff. This is the same guy. But now all of a sudden, he's talking about Benghazi. And I'm thinking, well, no, the Benghazi wasn't a senseless investigation. Hillary did get folks killed. And then he goes on to say, Kevin McCarthy got bullied into doing this. He gave up all his power and stuff. And the people are going to be hurt. No, the people are actually going to be helped because, see, we've been watching this corruption for years and years now. And people like Adam Schiff hasn't been held accountable. Now he's squirming. See, he's hot up under the collar. He's a little concerned. So now he wants to make it seem like the only reason they're having these investigations, these bogus investigations, not like the ones that we've had, not like the legitimate investigations that we were responsible for. Yeah, ours was the real ones. Ours was the real ones. Yeah, but see, the reason they're having these bogus investigations is because these are the conspiracy theorists of their party. They've taken over. They've captured them. These are the MAGA Republicans, the radicals, the QAnon conspirators, which ironically all seem to see what the people see. Isn't that crazy? See, all of the rhinos, they don't see it for some reason. See, that's why those holdouts had to force them into giving them enough control and power to go after these people and not be impeded. Because obviously Mitch McConnell don't see what we see. Obviously Lindsey Graham didn't see it. Obviously Kevin McCarthy McCarthy didn't see it. So we had to help him see it by saying, we ain't gonna let you be the Speaker of the House until you give us some authority to go after what the people see. Because now Adam Schiff is talking about, by holding the Intel Committee accountable and by making sure they don't abuse their power, you're really putting people in danger. You know what I think? I think that the people are in danger when the Intel community lies about Hunter Biden's laptop. I think we're in danger when they're on networks spewing up more propaganda. I think that we're in danger when they are working for Facebook and they're working for Twitter and they're colluding with all of these people. I think we're in danger when they are putting together secret little meetings to go after Trump supporters and label them as dang on domestic terrorists. That stuff right there makes me feel like we're in danger. When they start, identifying parents who simply want to be able to know what their kids are being taught as domestic terrorists, that seems like it's pretty dangerous when these folks will hide behind the shield of saying, you know what, that's classified and this right here, we need to get in a skiff to talk about it and so all that stuff is redacted and that right there. When they're doing that, when these folks are invading President Trump's crib, that right there makes me feel as if we're in danger. Makes me feel like these intel communities and agencies have grown larger than the people. That makes me concerned. I need to know what's going on up in there. And it ain't nothing wrong with knowing more information, right, bug-eyed? See, so let the investigations begin. And then we have the media once again confirming that they are working hand in hand with these corrupt politicians. Listen to Chuck Fraud, y'all. Try to go ahead and go at these people, tell them, leave them alone. Y'all better leave them alone. They ain't doing nothing. They trying to do their job.
Well, with all due respect, Chuck, I disagree with that. I think the only people that see this as a partisan investigation are the media and the hardcore Democrats. Look, at the same moment that the Democrats on the Ways and Means Committee released Donald Trump's taxes, they then, moments later, turned around and said Comer's investigation of the Biden family influence peddling is a revenge hearing. I mean, are you kidding me? Look, a Harvard poll just came out and said 65% of the Americans believe that the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop should be investigated. But let me be clear, we're not investigating Hunter Biden, we're investigating Joe Biden. And I think any American who's kept up with the political process over the past two administrations would agree. We need to know what is allowable and what isn't allowable with respect to foreign adversarial intervention among family members of presidents of the United States. That's something that the Democrats complained about with Kushner, and certainly the Republicans, myself included, have complained about with Hunter Biden and Jim Biden, the president's son and brother.
Let me ask you this. Now, I'm just shocked that Tuck Fraud is talking about a partisan investigation. I mean, I guess he's counting that J6 raggedy investigation where those two hand-picked rhinos was placed on it and the Republicans were denied to be able to put the people on that investigation or that committee that they wanted to because, see, they didn't want nobody with integrity on there. They picked the biggest sellout rhinos ever, which one of them right now is working for CNN, oddly. But they picked those two to be on there. They didn't want the truth. They just want to get out there and try to destroy the chances of Donald Trump running again. And then they just do pretty much whatever they want with Trump. But it's never partisan, see. Even though they can release his tax information to the public and go through it with the fine-tooth comb, still find nothing. But it doesn't stop them from going to the next thing, see. But yet we'll overlook Hunter Biden laptop with all of that information that they could go through all day long. But they don't want to know what's in there. See, ignorance is bliss with that, okay? And it just might force them to expose the people they've been covering up for years and working hand in hand with. That's why Chuck Fraud right now is trying to undermine the investigations that are going to take place, because it's not only going to reveal those people, but it's going to reveal that Chuck Fraud is a fraud. He don't want that. So here he comes.
The way the Democrats did it, it sounds like you're going to do it in the same way that they did it. How is it any better?
Yeah, what is the difference?
No, I totally disagree with that. Adam Schiff always overpromised and underdelivered. He said just last week, releasing Trump's tax returns was going to be a bombshell. There's no bombshell there. There's nothing there. Anyway, I've served on a bank board for over a decade. There's never been a developer that's paid a lot of federal income tax because of depreciation and tax credits and things like that. If the Democrats want to make people like Donald Trump pay taxes, they need to change the tax code, not the tax rate, the tax code. But with respect to what we're doing, everything that we're have requested. We have evidence to back up. There are emails and text messages that show Hunter Biden complaining about having to spend so much money keeping his dad up.
Where you at,
that's
Chuck?
a concern because Hunter Biden's only source of income were from our adversaries in China and Russia for influence peddling. So this is something that we should look into. This isn't political. We want to know, was the president truthful when he said he didn't have any knowledge or involvement of his family's shady business dealings? And once we determine that, we'll move on.
Well, it does.
You see Chuck Fraud? He couldn't say nothing about that. Yeah, right. I bet you they was in his ear like, Chuck, cut, Chuck, cut, Chuck. Yeah, Chuck, cut. Yeah, because you know why? The Democrats concoction investigations and they falsify evidence and they collude and they use all these dirty tactics and they throw all these accusations out there that are never challenged because people like Chuck Fraud and the rest of them just say it, repeat it, they parrot it. And then when people like us expose it and we're shadow banned and we are suppressed and we're removed from platforms and come out to be true, nobody goes back and checks Chuck. See? He need to be checked. Chuck need to be checked. So it's people like Chuck now that knows what's coming down the pipeline, and he knows that they've been the biggest perpetrator of supporting all of these false narratives. For years, they sat back every night talking about Trump's involvement with the Russians and Trump's tax returns and all of that stuff and Trump's dealings with his son Kushner and perhaps, making money from this and Trump's, he's doing this for whatever and he's always up to some type of evil. These are the folks who've been doing that and never produced any type of evidence. Unfortunately, the only thing it produced was brainwashing a lot of citizens to view Trump as a villain. However, when you got all this evidence laid out there in their faces, they overlooked that mess. They weren't even interested in Hunter Biden's laptop. Go figure. Not one of them called to bring in a #1 witness, Bob Alinsky, that had access to all that information about Hunter and about Joe. They didn't even want to talk to Bob Alinsky. Now, what kind of news organization would pass up a beautiful opportunity to break a story like that? And you didn't want to talk to the main witness? And the FBI didn't either. Surprisingly, that's crazy to me. So it would appear that they also are partnered up with protecting the Democrats, the intel community, and big tech from what's coming down the pipeline if these Republicans do what they say they're going to do. Because these investigations are laid out beautifully. All the evidence is there. Emails, you got documentation, you got these. Tell you what, man, these folks are sloppy criminals. They leave all this stuff laying out so beautifully that I could prosecute these folks. It's unreal to me, though, that the fake news, for some reason, that have way more resources than me in my crib, in my corner, but yet they can't find out any of that information. Therefore, all of these threats of investigations are simply just tit for tat. It's partisan. There's no justification. There's no predicate. They're just doing this to get even because the Democrats did it. So are you admitting that the Democrats been doing this, Chuck? When you said it seemed like you're just going to do what the Democrats did, which is came up with a witch hunt and been doing it since day one. But for some reason, the media, they don't realize it. They keep supporting every witch hunt that they go after. They support it. They fall for it. Or are they a part of it? I think they are. But boy, I can't wait to see how this all plays out, man. God bless you. God bless America. Fat chance of you getting a notification from this, from YouTube about this video. So do me a favor. Make sure that you hit that like button. If you didn't get a notification, type that in the bottom of the video, okay? So I can send that off to YouTube. All right, God bless y'all. Hey, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Rumble, and check out my podcast. And if you want to donate to my channel, please feel free. Links are below. God bless you. See you next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.